So you'll click watch the replay. It's going to take you to my live webinar. If you've not watched the webinar before, it says, oh, looks like you haven't registered. It'll give you a link to go and register for the webinar. Register for it.
And then you'll get an email.
Yeah. So I'm about to do this with Catherine. We're about to walk through this process for her. She's going to create a webinar, going to help her do that. And then we've got to create the series of emails that lead up to that. But in your case, Joanna, it's just a matter of, I think it's just being more persistent with your communication. And all communication, you don't want to always have the same copy in there, different copy. Think about the women who might be coming to your event. You know, maybe it's corporate women who they've been so stressed out that they just can't, their mind is so foggy and they just need a way to unload all of that fogginess in their mind. So your copy in your email said, hey, if you're in a corporate role and you have been feeling the pressure of the day-to-day grind and all of the pressures that are associated with just being in this pandemic and you need some relief, here's an answer for you. And then tell them about your event. Yeah, I mean, and then your next day email might be, hey there, I just want to check to make sure that you got my email yesterday. You know, as if you're talking to that person. I just want to check to see if you got that email. I've got this fantastic event coming up and I would love for you to come. Here are the details. Grab a friend and do this together. And it can be very short. So I think those things will help you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
All right. Okay. So Beth, narrowing your focus on your offerings. All right, so tell me what your possibilities are, Beth.
Possibilities are, that's what I'm looking forward to in our strategy day. Several that come to mind are helping people uncover their purpose, helping people pursue their passion. After uncovering that, helping them pursue what it is that they're passionate about and what their purpose is. I think about that in terms of there's some career coaching. Discover your purpose. There's some career planning. I don't want to do resumes. I don't want to do that level, that type of career coaching. I don't want to go all the way down to, I don't want to be somebody's resume writer or LinkedIn profile writer necessarily. For an add-on fee, I'll do it. They're a $1 billion resume. The other things that I think of, I want to incorporate intercultural communication.
Okay, tell me more about that.
That is, and this is where I've been challenged in the last several years. It's helping people communicate and it's building cultural competency around working with and with people from different cultures.
Okay.
It has some diversity, equity, inclusion aspects of it. I had started it out having it be more on international culture, so helping in a more corporate environment or in a working environment where doing expatriate preparation expatriate, incoming, coaching around how to work in a new culture. And then also for teams that are global, how to work and communicate together as a global organization, knowing that there are so many different differences and cultural nuances that can derail even the most well thought out plans, and that communication challenges can,
Okay.
the unknown communication challenges.
Okay. All right.
There is also, like, do I want to be a life coach? Do I want to be a career coach? Do I want to be an executive coach? Do I want to coach teams? Do I want to, what kind of client, what kind of coach do I want to be, and what kind of clients do I want to service, or would I be of most service to?
Yeah. So here's what I'm going to say about this. That strategy session that we do is going to answer this. You can ask Catherine through it.
Amazing.
So I do want to, I don't want to hash all that out here, but I think it's good to just get that out and think about, I mean, part of the challenge is just figuring out what are the possibilities, what could you do? And so here's what I'm going to challenge you to do, Beth, in between now and our strategy session. I want you to keep working this list. I want you to list everything possible that you could be doing. Everything that you know that you could deliver.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to ask you to force rank it.
Mm-hmm.
So this will require some deeper thought. And I want you to even just take each piece and just imagine what it would be like to do that on a day-to-day basis.
Mm-hmm.
What would the awesome things be about it? So if we think about discovering your purpose, what would you absolutely love about that? What would you imagine is happening that you're doing that? And what are the pitfalls of doing that? You know, what would suck the life out of you doing that? So you're really looking at the pros and cons of doing each of these and really thinking through what's going to give you energy and what's going to suck the life out of you. So for example, like if we just even focus on this cultural diversity piece, the awesome thing is you get to use the competencies that you already have. You're already well versed in another language, so you know, and you have a passion around diversity, but you're also working with global organizations. So that means red tape, political agendas, and all of that junk that you're dealing with, you've dealt with before. So you have to think about, do you really want to get yourself tangled up in that? From the money side of things, it could be really good money.
Yeah.
I mean, having corporate contracts, you could make big money here, but you really are going to work for that money.
Yeah.
So you see where I'm going with this, just thinking through?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is something actually that's part of my curriculum that I've been developing for helping other people discover their passion and purpose.
Right. So install curriculum and
so
you'll get
put it to me.
Yeah. And in terms of what type of coach you want to be, you're going through the coaching certification too. And so, you know, as you're in Ready, Set, Succeed, as we're going through those foundational elements, you don't have to decide that right away. You know, we can try on some different types of coaching and see which one resonates with you the most.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Okay, Rachel just got a phone call, so I was going to go to her next. So let's see what else we got. So we got Catherine. What I need is to practice coaching, and Esther and I are meeting on Monday to start this. Yeah, so.
Can I just share something that happened today? I know in our strategy session, I was saying how every time I tell people what I do, I feel like I'm reading from a script. Well, today we only had 4 people show up at the breakfast. There was no structure. I was sharing my authentic self. There was only one new person who didn't know me, and she was just like eating it up. She said, "Oh my God, you're speaking to me." And she was so on fire. And she said, "You are just glowing. You can tell your passion." And it was like, it was just like, I could not believe the energy. It was just amazing. So
That work in the strategy session paid off, right?
it did. It really did.
Good. I'm happy. And I was coaching with Esther today, so she's excited to be connecting with you on the practice coaching as well. Okay, so let's see here. Well, Rachel is the only one that we need to answer her question. Anybody have anything else while we're waiting for Rachel? Anybody have something? I will go ahead and answer her question though, and she can listen to the recording if need be. How do you make time, energy for your calling when you are exhausted from your current daily schedule? Let's just do a quick check-in here. How many of you, on a scale of 1 to 5, what is your level of exhaustion right now? 5 being, I am so exhausted, I just can't even wait to get in the bed every day. And 1 being, I have no exhaustion, I am just a big bundle of energy. So go ahead and put that, let's just put that in the chat. Joanna's a 3, we got some 3, we got a 1. Lucy is like on fire. Catherine's a 1, okay. So Beth, you're a 3. Okay, so that's the exhaustion level. And so when you look at, I'm gonna bring something forth that we're actually talking about in our Food Fighters group. So I want you to think about the way that you're spending your day. And if you think about, let's just throw this out. Let's throw this out in conversation so everybody can come off mute. But let's just have a conversation about what are you spending most of your time doing every day?
For me, it just depends on what project I'm working on. Because I have 2 projects that I'm juggling at the moment. One's grant writing and the other is editing. So I just got another editing series that I told them I'd have it to them by Monday because I knew I had other things planned. So it's just basically looking at deadlines. And then in between, I get to work on my stuff, like my website. And now I can actually start working on marketing because I think I get it now, the logic and of what's needed. So, and I've always worked like that. Even when I was with Extension, we wore a lot of hats. It was just expected. So I think I draw energy from that.
Okay. All right. So Beth, where are you spending most of your time?
I'm juggling my time between probably three different buckets that I need to eliminate one bucket or pour something from one bucket into another. Okay. So for example, I'm spending time on doing the contract work that I'm contracted to do, which in large part is responsive, not proactive. So there's a lot of energy that gets sucked out between having to react and respond. And it's not in an area that I enjoy doing. So I feel anxious about it. And I get sick to like this ball that like of anxiety that comes up when I have to do something that I don't like. There's thinking about my business and wanting to spend time on that and investing in that, which is energizing. I mean, I might be one of those people that is up till like midnight working on this going forward, and then there's also balancing time between trying to find alternate intermediate, maybe I don't know if it's intermediate, but alternate intermediate sources of income to build while I'm doing this. So it's the juggling on top of the actual doing. Yeah. And I spend a lot of time, I think, worrying and planning and blocking and tackling. And that's where some of the exhaustion comes in, but not one of those buckets alone is not necessarily taking up hours of my day.
Yeah. And so you're bringing up exactly where I want to go with this. And the point is that, of course, there are going to be some things that suck the life out of you. There are going to be some things that you're doing that you don't want to do. But then there are other things that are fueling you that just keep you going. And my next question for you is, looking at everything that you're doing and you're spending your time on, what is the return on investment?
Right now it seems low in all areas because I'm not focused on one or two, just two, even two.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, spreading yourself thin, just kind of moving from thing to thing. So the question becomes, where do you, using our time as a choice, we get to choose where we use our time. And the things that give you energy. So where do you need to invest more time to get a bigger return on investment? And this is for anyone. Anyone can answer this. What is the thing that you need to focus on that's going to give you more return for more bang for your buck?
I think for me is to be more organized in my schedule, because I can sit here and waste hours going from, like you said, moving through about 15 different things and not really accomplishing a whole lot until the day is over. But being more disciplined in my schedule, but dedicating time to building business relationships, whether it's online or in person, because that seems to be the best way for me. Like you said, if people know, like, and trust me, those are the people that come back to me. But it takes time and dedicated effort to really seek them out and spend time connecting with them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is a great way to frame that up. So even if I just use myself as an example, I've got a million things that I can be doing. I've got women's coaching circles. I've got coaching programs. I've got activities here at the VIP Center. I have a family. I've got cleaning up dog poop and pee every day because of all the puppies and dogs. There are all these different things that I could be spending my energy on. But, what's really going to give me the most fuel? And from a business standpoint, what's going to give me the most profitability and purpose? Those are really important to me. So it's also looking at, okay, well, what is important to me? Because whatever is important to you is where you need to be spending your time, or trying to adjust your calendar to where you're spending more time. So I'll give a really practical example here. So I have 2 coaching circles. They're $59 a month. Okay. I've got a women's coaching circle, and then I've got our food fighter circle. And then I've got these larger coaching programs. These are coaching programs that cost thousands of dollars, right? So does it make sense for me to be spending all day on building up the food fighter circles or the women's coaching circles, when I could be sustaining my business by at least taking half of my day and focusing on the coaching programs. So that just simplifies it, you know, even if you're just looking at it from a dollar standpoint, okay? It doesn't mean that that's what you're after, but you know, if I'm looking, what gives me energy is being able to pay for my VIP center and get women into coaching to really have transformational results. I know the coaching programs do it. So why wouldn't I prioritize my time and spend more time there versus spending a whole week, you know, working on something that's not going to give me very big return.
And just to give you an example too, it's like I get a lot of energy from connection and networking. So even though, you know, going to that breakfast in Carmel took a lot out of my morning, and, you know, I have mowing to do and things like that. It's like, this is very important to me. You know, I really want to go to this because this is my support. This is my, you know, this energizes me. And boy, did it energize me today. It's like, that just made my whole day. I mean, it really did. And I made that a very high priority, even though it's like, well, this is 30 miles away. It's going to take me this long to get there. But it's worth it. I mean, you know, just to meet that individual that I met today, she was so on fire with what I did. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So it's
a great example of, I mean, we get to choose. I mean, I'm going to take a week off for vacation. That's like, that never happens. And I know I'm going to be energized by that, and I'm going to come back just totally fueled up, right? So you always live in choice. And that's the bottom line of what we're saying with your time. You're always going to spend time on the things that are either causing you the most pain. And when we're in the pain, you know, we're trying to get rid of pain instead of, you know, focusing on what's bringing us joy and purpose and profitability and spirituality and all of that. I mean, you got to balance the pain and the pleasure and quit focusing so much on the pain. And so one of the things that's sucking the life out of me is being in this conference room where the air conditioner isn't working very well, and I'm burning up, but I've probably lost 5 pounds from being in here all week long. Oh. All right, ladies. So that's our session for today. It's 3:01. Let's just do a quick go around. What did you get out of today's session, Catherine?
Again, just being able to connect with people. That's so, you know, it's like, you know, I really didn't have time for this, but I told myself, you know, I haven't met with the group, and I really get energized by connecting. And I didn't know what you were working on. I thought, well, I'm just going to, you know, come in and connect. So yeah, just doing that, sharing was awesome.
Great. Christina.
I definitely was able to connect the dots from the last mastermind and other work we've done together. So I'm really excited because I'm kind of like Joanna. I don't really know how to go about attracting them. And then this last part was actually really helpful because I tend to be in different buckets, but I think it's important and to look at the ROI. And as long as I keep moving forward, then I think it's positive.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you. I think that helped kind of where I may be tentative or do I need to not do this? It kind of helped refocus everything. Yeah. It's not either or, it could be whatever works and energizes you, I guess, which helps.
You gotta have a fuel source. And part of the fuel source is when I talk about return on investment, I'm talking about return. You may not be feeling it now, but you know that it's ultimately leading. Mm-hmm. It's leading to a longer term energy source for you.
Got it. Yeah, perfect.
All right, Joanna.
I think it's the ROI on my time.
Yeah. Good. Beth.
I love what you said, and I wrote this down, and I even drew a visual, but focusing on profitability and purpose, and focusing less time on pain and more on the work that is focused on building joy.
Right.
And purpose. And yeah, you have to deal with the pain, but don't micro focus on that.
Right. Yeah, that's a great way to frame it up. Great. Lucy, anything that you want to say?
This is been a kind of a crazy week for me because I'm learning a ton. And like Catherine said, this time just fill me up, you know, like getting to know people and talking to all of these beautiful ladies that you have over here. And you have such an inspiration career that I am just starting, and I feel that's why I am in one, I think. And I hope I can keep observing all that knowledge from you and from all of the other members that are here, because all of you ladies are doing such a great job building from zero all your companies, and it's an inspiration for me.
Great. And I love you already, and you're learning quickly. So just know that is what's going on with you. All right, ladies, well, we are going to hop off now. So we will see you next Friday.
So there's no Monday then, since we're not really practicing any.
Right. We're just, no. And I usually only have one or two that show up on that implementation call anyway, but you know, so we're going to just cancel the one for Monday.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Happy weekend.
All right.